Good evening everybody, Calm Biker here. Just taking a little spin on the Honda, off to see my parents and to enjoy the last day of summer, or the last evening of summer. I've been working all day, I didn't get to enjoy much of that. That's not true, I quite enjoy my job really. But yeah, just heading off to see my parents. My mother is very old school and her iron failed the other week. And she said she went out to get a new iron and all she could find was one of them newfangled ones with water in and steam and whatnot, and she likes an iron that doesn't have that. She likes a dry iron. Who knew there was such a thing? That's some serious bars on that bike. Mrs. C now is volunteering at a charity shop at the moment, and it just so happened that somebody brought in today a dry iron to give to the charity shop. I assume that that person prefers a wet, do you call it a wet iron? A steam iron. I assume that person prefers a steam iron because Mrs. C looked at it and it's absolutely brand new. So she paid charity shop rates and brought it home to send me out tonight on the bike. Oh, what a chore it is to go and deliver it, along with a book about Hammonds of Hull, big department store that once was, isn't anymore. But my mother talks about it with fond memories of where she used to work. Don't like it when people do that. Indicate when you're going past the junction perhaps, or just after the junction, but when you're approaching the junction and you're indicating ahead of it when you're going off to the next one and there's a bike on your outside, makes the bike think, well, makes the person riding the bike think, are you going to come and cut me off? Anyway, so yeah, I've got the book and the iron in the back box, top box. I thought I'd take it and give a bit of a surprise present. Coming to the end of summer, as I say, it's the last day of summer today. The proper last day of summer, not that stupid meteorological summer that they round to the end of August, beginning of September. That's just silly. But the proper astronomical summer. We haven't really had much of a summer this year. Probably 2 or 3 weeks where it hasn't rained, but we've got a decent evening tonight. So now my thoughts are turning towards getting as much riding in as possible ahead of winter, and then the winter jobs. I've been putting off the jobs on the Z1000. I've got a few jobs to do. I've got to do the coolant on it. That is now probably 2 months overdue. So I really need to get around to doing the coolant. Not sure whether to change the brake hoses, the coolant hoses, or not, because they've been on since I've owned the bike, so you know, about 6 years. Kawasaki say to change them every time you do the coolant, which seems excessive and absolutely anti-Yorkshireman. And when I talked to a Kawasaki mechanic about it the first time I did the coolant, he said, don't be silly. I don't know about the second time, whether I should be looking at changing them or not. And I've seen that there is a company that does Kawasaki hoses, does hoses for all sorts, but they do hoses to fit my bike that are supposed to be guaranteed forever, so they'll last longer than your bike will. Different materials. They don't come with any O-rings, so I need to work out whether I would need special O-rings or not, but it does seem like a better bet. And weirdly, they're cheaper than the original Kawasaki ones, which is bizarre for something that effectively lasts forever. And it's also 6 years since I had the bike and I've never changed the brake hoses. I did the brake fluid probably 6 months ago and never thought about it, so I don't know. What do you reckon? Should I be changing the brake hoses? Potentially the throttle cable and the clutch cable as well? They seem fine, but as I mentioned on an earlier video, the throttle is quite stiff. Well, I think it always has been, just in comparison to this thing where not the throttle, the clutch I mean. Yeah, the clutch on this is just nothing there. It feels like there's no cable connected to it. It's so light. So quite a few jobs to do this winter. And then today I think I've worked out that I've got a job to do on this bike already. I'm fairly sure I've either got a puncture that I can't find or a problem with the valve on the rear tyre. I've noticed it has been losing a bit of air. The Z loses nothing. I can leave that alone for a month, come back to it, and it doesn't need any extra air. I think the only time I put air in it is after I've checked the tyres so many times and let a little bit out every time. But when I put the tyres on, I always use plenty of the tyre soap, which acts as a lubricant for putting them on and also as a sealant for the beads. So, and I always put brand new valves in as well, so it's probably, and the valves as well get the soap around them, so it's probably just that it's well sealed up. This one I was thinking maybe it's a bit leakier than the Z. I haven't done the tyres myself, so you know, I wouldn't know, would I? And I've noticed it losing a couple of PSI here and there, but last time I went out to it, I'd not been on this bike for nearly a week and it had lost 8 PSI, which felt like a lot. The rear tyre only goes up to 40 PSI, or 40 and a little bit, all measured in them kilopascals, which is annoying because I don't have a gauge for that, but worked it out. It's 29 at the front and 40 and a half at the back roughly, which is seem almost flat as it is. But I've not been out on this bike now for probably 10 days, maybe a fortnight actually, because I've been using the Z instead. And I went to it today and checked the tyre pressure in the rear and it was 15 PSI. So that is definitely a problem. It shouldn't have lost 25 PSI over a fortnight, should it? That's definitely a puncture or a valve problem. So I dismembered the valve, put new innards in the valve and repumped it up, and we'll see. Can't hear any hissing, can't see any obvious problems, but something is amiss. So the jobs are racking up, so this one needs sorting before winter comes, because this will be the bike I use in winter. Though it is such a lovely looking thing and in such good condition, I think it might still be off the road when the salt is out. We'll have to see. He's going faster than me. You won't get many police CB500Xs, will you? But yes, after a bit of advice really from all you seasoned veterans of the DIY spannering, 6 years brake hose, brake pipes, brake lines, whatever you want to call them, 6 years on my throttle and my clutch cables, and 6 years on my coolant pipes. Should I be replacing them? Let me know what you think in them comments while I deliver the iron and the book, and keep my eye on the BMW. Thanks for watching everyone, ride safe, and I'll talk to you all again soon.